What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bulldog Gaming. Your boys are back. As always, I am Andrew, and I am joined by the #1 Anthem fan in Long Island, Brian Rudolph. What's up, Brian?
Not Anthem's Metacritic.
Yeah. I like that we're very timely with our Anthem jokes about like a month and a half too late. So we got a bit of news for you. It's been an okay week in gaming. There was like not an incredible amount of news, but like there was some big news, I guess you could say.
I feel like we're starting to get into the drop before E3.
Yeah, like
before the E3 leaks.
This is like the 2 months of revving up to E3, or what remains of like the shell of E3, the empty husk that is E3 this year. Of course, before we get into the episode, I'm gonna do a bit of housekeeping. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at Bulldog.Gaming, twitch.tv/BulldogGaming. Became affiliate about, 2 weeks ago at this point?
Yeah.
So you can go hit us up on there. You can subscribe to us.
Sub to me, sub to DDG Luke.
sub to TDG Luke and then subscribe to us.
Yeah. Or report him.
And of course, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. All that means you have to do is that you sign up on a Twitch account. You get a completely free subscription you do not have to pay for. It is paid for by Amazon. If you do not use it, you lose it. So be sure to do that for either us, TDG Luke, a Filthy Weeb, anybody we play with. Go out and support your Twitch streamers. Go do your thing. It costs you literally zero monies. And so you can follow us on the Twitch, on the Twitter, tomorrow night or today when you're hearing this. At, what time is the conference? 5 p.m.?
5 p.m. Eastern.
5 p.m. Eastern. PlayStation is going to be doing their version of a Nintendo Direct. They're going to be announcing new games and a bunch of new stuff. I'm going to be streaming. Are you going to be home for it? Are you going to be chilling? All right, so we will probably both be streaming that. So be sure to check us out Monday.
I'll be sitting on Andrew's lap while we are in front of the green screen to make sure we fit.
In our birthday suits.
Yes.
And if you're listening to this at a later date, you're probably going, oh, fuck, it's Wednesday, and I completely missed that. That's the cool thing about Twitch, is that all our videos are archived, and you can watch it there.
Are we going to put it on YouTube?
Yeah, I'll probably put this one on YouTube. And next up, we have our Division clan. If you guys are playing Division on PS4, you could join us over at the Bulldog Gaming clan. I think we're about 7 members strong right now, so we're always looking to improve in the ranks. So come through, get that EXP with us, and get a whole bunch of cool stuff. You get like weekly caches and bounties, and we're all playing together. We're all having a good time.
We're all playing with each other.
Come help the Bulldog boys defend DC.
I want to play with you.
You can do that Monday night on Twitch.
Nice.
TOS. And final bit of housekeeping for you. Those damn Movie Mayhem boys are back at it again. You can catch their review of Us, the new Jordan Peele movie of Get Out fame. You can catch their new review for Us. It is up now. It is everywhere you find Us, as in Bulldog, not the movie. And you can check them out there. So be sure to hit those boys up.
You could look up Us too. Like
yeah.
Us as an Us.
Yeah, like just look up Us. And I'm sure they'll be the first.
Use your Twitch Prime to give me money.
Go on your podcast feed and type in Us review, and I'm sure Movie Mayhem will be the first podcast
probably just link
that pops
you directly
up.
to their Twitter.
It'll probably just send you the address to Brian's house at that point.
Brian's Bitmoji will kick your door down.
That's a horrifying image. So, okay, now to get into a bit of what we have been playing. Now, I want to save the big meat and potatoes of what we've been playing for last.
Yeah.
So, to start us off, Brian, I think you've been playing a little bit of God of War.
A little bit.
That should turn on, and that should be a fan for your phone. It did not work for me because I have an OtterBox, but it should work for you. There you go. How nice is that?
That's lit.
Yeah.
Right,
if you want it, you can have it. It doesn't fit my phone. So, Brian has been making his way through God of War in a timely fashion. He's up on those current games that need to be played.
See, for some reason, I think it's just the fact that it's high fantasy, and that's just never been a genre that grabs me at all.
Oh, I completely understand that.
I like when they're actually dialoguing with each other, I like it. The combat's great, but when I'm sitting there looking at all this shit, it's like, I don't care. And it's honestly been really hard for me to get through because of that.
I felt the same way with some other forms of media, like with Game of Thrones, for example. Everyone was like, "Oh, you got to watch the show," and I just was like, "I don't like the setting. I'm not about that. I don't care." And then when I actually got around to watching it, I was like, oh, this rules. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the setting.
The only time the high fantasy setting doesn't matter for me is like Zelda.
Yeah.
Besides that, I can't really think.
And
of
that's
much.
not overly like high fantasy, I would
Yeah.
say. It's more of just like standard like
Because Disney's
adventure game. Like here's a world we create.
It's called
like,
Nintendo Disney.
yeah.
Their shit's all at a different level anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm having fun with it. I just did the Dark Elf. I fought the Dark Elf boss,
Okay.
and I don't know where in the story that is. Still seems like it's pretty early.
Yeah, I'd say maybe, from what I remember, because I played this about a year ago, I'd say that's maybe like 30% through,
Yeah.
35% through. Sounds about right.
But at the same time, like I want to just get through the game. But then I'm also like, here's these chests I gotta hit the 3 runes of. Can't skip it. Gotta get it.
Yeah, I think as I started getting into the mid to late part of that game, I started kind of avoiding that shit. Like I was just kind of like, if it was there, I did it.
But but the thing is, all these puzzles are always things you can do right then and there.
Exactly.
And I don't want the game to. I don't want to be considered a dumbass to the game.
Yeah.
I need
The
to,
game's judging me.
Yeah, the game's judging me. I gotta know. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I don't have much to say about it really. I just like. I'm here for the story, even though the gameplay's good.
I mean, like, has anything grabbed you in the story so far? Like, game's a year old, you can spoil.
Nah, not
Like-
really. Atreus got pissed for a second.
Yeah. Well, he kind of became overconfident in the fact of knowing he's, like a god, right?
Well, I'm not up to that.
Oh, you're not up to that?
I
I
might
thought
be right
that's what it
before.
was.
No, it's because he was really pissed when Kratos went through that light, and to him it was like 20 seconds.
Oh,
to
yeah,
Atreus,
yeah,
It was
yeah.
like hours, I guess.
Yeah, you're jogging my memory now as I remember
And he's
this
just
game
like,
from a
you
year
were
ago.
gone for so long. There's like corpses on corpses.
Yeah, like, Sun was fucking it up out there.
Well, as a character with no HP bar, I guess he just can't die.
Yeah, I mean, also the fact that, like, you know he's a god, he doesn't know it. Yeah, so nothing else to really say. I mean,
Nah, it's hard.
if you had to, like, right now, as far as you are in the game, if you had to give me, like, a 1 to 10,
I can't.
where you
I
at?
can't review that yet.
you're not even, nothing like
I
that?
don't have enough of the game to think about that.
Okay, so, like,
I mean, the first boss fight's still clutch against that stranger guy.
yeah, that's, the fight against, what's his name, Baldur.
And I just saw a clip on Twitter today, and I scrolled past it as soon as I noticed what I was looking at of them fighting on like a dragon's wing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, can't wait to get this part.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. All right. So before we get into the big division thing, the only real game I have to comment on is Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Real game.
I found that game. I've wanted to play that game for a long time. I like the XCOM style of fighting in those types of games, where it's very like
It's kind of like
it's almost tabletop.
It's kind of like Fractured but Whole fighting, right? But more in a 3D space.
It's more like XCOM. Like XCOM is like spot on to what it is. That like there's this whole board you're kind of moving on. It's very tabletop-y. And that like you're going to certain areas to get like certain angles on your enemies, and you're also trying to defend yourself from other enemies.
How's the story?
The story is, I would say, it's not like completely like drawing me in. What's interesting to me about the story is the way it starts, where like it's not in the Mario universe. Like you're in this girl's like lab, and she has very like Nintendo-y stuff all around, and she's wearing like outfits that reminisce like the Mario like vibe and that type of shit. And she has this invention where like she's trying to perfect. It's almost like a VR headset, and when you put it on, it's like augmented reality, but like you're able to like craft something with the helmet when you put it on and like visualize something.
So the
like,
game is non-canon.
The thing bugs out, and like she like leaves the room, and the thing bugs out, and all these rabbits are like falling into like the bedroom.
I've definitely seen this cutscene.
Yeah, and they
before.
start like fucking with everything, and they're breaking the fucking room apart and going nuts. And then like the one rabbit puts the helmet on, and the helmet like morphs to them, like it becomes a part of them, and they're like, he's like blasting like visions, and like rabbits are turning into Mario, and like all this crazy shit. And then like this portal opens up, and they all get sucked into it, and they all fall into like the magic kingdom, the mushroom kingdom,
Son,
the
Nintendo's
Nintendo Disney.
They're just video game Disney.
Yeah, the parallels are crazy today. But you fall into like the mushroom kingdom, and then like Mario and Luigi are like, we gotta stop them. Basically it's a chase where you're trying to catch this rabbit, but
Who has the headset on?
Who has the headset on because he's making crazy shit and like fucking up the kingdom, but or like every time you get close to him, like so far Bowser Jr. has been the main villain in this story, and Bowser Jr. like kind of he like befriends the little guy because the little rabbit's so scared, and he like gets in his little like pod.
Does anybody vocally speak in this game?
No.
Text who?
Mostly text based.
Are like Luigi and Peach text speaking at all, or I know Mario.
They're text speaking, but it's like most Mario games where he's like okay, and then it's like his text. Like he says a little fucking thing.
Okay, but they are, but the Nintendo characters are text speaking.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Mario, of course.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
never does.
Yeah, no, they're all text speaking. The game has had solid humor. Like it's a very cool take on a Mario game that's different than most Mario games you play, in just the tone of it. Mm-hmm. Like when like Bowser Jr. keeps calling his dad to just try to like leave him a voicemail, and he's like on the phone with his dad. And then, like, the rabbit fucks something up, and he yells at Mario, Bowser Jr., he's like, leave him alone and stay out of my way. I've got a lot of repressed daddy issues to work through. And I was like, oh my god, like, what a funny tone to a Mario game.
Oh, wait till you put those in your door.
Yeah, I can't wait.
That shit's fucked.
And, like, the whole thing with, like, the rabbit Donkey Kong is a fun boss fight. And, like, there's fun boss fights in there that change the game around, and the gameplay is just unlike anything I've played in a Mario before. It honestly reminds me a lot of Paper Mario in the way that that game has its own style of combat and like the way everything works.
Yeah.
This game has that in its own way of it's more of like an XCOM, like a that type of game.
Yeah.
I will say that when I bought it, it's one of those things where I'm playing it on the backlog, and I was kind of like, all right, I finally got it for cheap. It was like $19 on the eShop. I'm just going to kind of play my way through it, kind of critical path it. I just want to see what this game's about. And now, I have no idea how far I am progress-wise in this game.
What world are you on?
I'm in, like, each world has, like, 2 halves. I'm in, like, half 2 of part 2. So it's, like, 2-2.
There's not that many worlds. That's all I know.
But, like I was going to say, like, I'm probably going to buy the DLC. I'm having so much fun with this game.
Then you get to play as your boy.
I love that style. And, like, I'm having a blast.
You get to play as Donkey Kong.
Yeah. And, like, I love how each person has their own style. Like, Mario, his secondary weapon is, like, a sledgehammer that you get kind of close range, and then you could, like, do, like a lot of damage.
Cool.
Luigi's...
Luigi bringing up Mario's hammer.
Yeah. Luigi's, like, a sniper. Like, he has a lot less health, but he's more like a sit-back, a lot of range guy.
Dabs on his enemies.
Peach is almost like a support. I have Peach Rabbit, I don't have Peach. So I've been running, like, Mario, Luigi, and Peach Rabbit. And
3 versus 3?
Well, it's 3 versus however many fucking rabbits they throw at you. There's different styles of rabbits. There's, like, little medics. There's, like, the tank boys.
What was Yoshi?
Who are fucking scary. I don't have Yoshi yet. I couldn't tell you what he is. Thanks for the spoilers, guy.
Cover.
Nah, I know. And honestly, like, the game, it's just very well done. You could tell a lot of passion and love went into this. I remember that E3 with they showed the guy who directed the game, and he's, like, crying.
Well,
because, like, son was, like, a lifelong Mario fan and finally got to make this game.
Didn't he make a part of that game to show them, like, I want to make this game?
I think so.
Like, I think he, like, made, like a probably, like, some kind of, like, battle in the game to show them, like, hey, this would be a cool Mario game. So they actually just show them what he means. And they're like, yeah, do it. And,
like, you could tell that it's just a game that has a lot of, like, it's not just a quick cash grab. Like, there was love into this game, and it shows, and it's really good.
Well, I was excited when I saw that, and then because like we got that game, we got Hyrule Warriors, and now we have Cadence of Hyrule. Like, Nintendo's letting people make their franchise games,
and they're doing a good job. It provides us with like other versions and other tones of these games than we're used to. Of just like, here's another Nintendo Link game or Nintendo Mario game. You know what I mean?
It's like I never played the Crypt of the Necrodancer, but like the Zelda version they just showed off, that looks really cool. You see that?
Kinda, yeah. I saw a little bit of it.
Like all the combat and movement you do is in rhythm to like the music.
Yeah.
So like if you're slashing, it's like in time with like the music. It's like that's fucking sick.
Yeah, it's gonna be very cool. So that's just kind of my in review. I'm kind of making my way through it. If I had to do like a 1 to 10 right now, I'd probably put this game at like I'd say like an 8.3. I'd say I'm at. It's a very good game. You know, there's no real story to blow me away, but as far as the gameplay, it's been addicting. It's bringing me back.
How many vape clouds would you give this game?
I would give this game on a scale of 5 vape clouds, 3.5 vape clouds.
But what kind of V-Juice comes into play? What flavor?
Donkey Kong Rabbit a banana.
sounds like
Right.
sounds like his special move.
Yeah. And then I guess now we can kind of just let it all flow with Division 2.
It is good. The end.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Bulldog Gaming. And now, holy shit, this fucking game, Division 2. When we were looking at let's take like E3 last year. When I was looking on the slate of all the games coming up in 2019, and I'm going, oh sweet, we're getting Kingdom Hearts 3, we're getting fucking Anthem.
Anthem sucks.
We're getting Division 2, and then a bunch more games that haven't even come out yet, like Days Gone and probably fucking Dreams and all these cool shits. But like looking at all the games and even like the Red Deads and Fallouts that like we hadn't played yet, Division 2 was kind of in the back of my mind of like, I know this game's going to be good. Division 1 turned into a really solid game. I don't think they're going to do what Destiny 2 did and have a very bare bones launch again. I have faith in that game, and I just kind of went black on it. Like, I went dark, didn't look at anything, stayed away. Like, we're playing, I didn't even know about the specializations.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know. I didn't look up a lot. And I really feel like this is the best launch of a live service game I've ever played.
Absolutely.
Like, without a doubt, right?
Almost, the only bugs I've really seen was like the texture pop-ins, and then when enemies sometimes like kind of like teleport.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly.
I mean, like, for me, though, that's all excusable stuff.
Yeah, those are the hiccups you can have.
I will 10 times out of 10, I will deal with those things when you give me a game with like 40 plus hours of a campaign and content that I still have not seen all of.
You see, the thing is, texture pop-ins and the buggy running, the enemies like kind of teleporting, that's all stuff that you can blame on. You need like millions of people to be playing the game to see that stuff happen.
Exactly.
And then
there's always problems when you launch a game
parallel
live.
to the problems that Anthem had at launch, just comparing it to that one, because that's a recent game that came out with it.
Yeah.
Making shotguns have pistol perks is not a launch issue. Having your high tier weapon, end game weapons be weaker than the level 1 weapon isn't an issue from that.
Yeah.
That's not those aren't normal issues, and that's why this game is doing better launch than that one, because these are real issues that a game can have compared to fake ones.
Yeah. For me, I just think it was poor timing as far as anything with Anthem, because this is also, we have to look at it as, this is Ubi's second attempt at this. Like, if we were to compare Anthem to Division 1 when it launched, that I think is fair to me, because this is BioWare's first time doing this.
It would just be a content problem at that point.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, all these games on their first launches have not been good. Like, that's why I'm willing to excuse Anthem, because I'm sure they'll make it great. Destiny made theirs great from a lack of content, a lack of things to do. Division did it. They all did it.
But will Anthem make us pay $40 to make it great?
That's what I'm saying. Well, they've had free content coming. In another month or two, we're getting the Cataclysm and all that shit. I'll probably jump back in. I'm probably going to try it. Yeah, before we recorded, we were just throwing out words that sound like things that would be an Anthem. But like, congratulations, freelancer. You've made it past the Cataclysm. Prepare yourself for the Cloaca invasion.
Just long.
This sounds like things they would say.
You just gotta take a bunch of 3-syllable words that you just never really use in your vocabulary, and it's probably something in Anthem.
Yeah. The Enigma Protocol.
Literally.
Okay.
Literally, that sounds like something that could be.
Yeah, sure. That sounds like something that sounds cool that you would put in the game.
Someone just had a rhyming dictionary. Someone had it was like a rhyming dictionary. It's like, look at all these fun big words for other words
that we could just make up for like things in our world. But no, going back to Division 2, I want to hit on, first off, like the map in the world. When they first announced it was going to be DC, I think we were all kind of bummed. I mean, we are New Yorkers. It was kind of fun being in Manhattan and being in that wintry vibe.
I wanted to see the same map, but like more to scale, because it wasn't 1-to-1. It was like 2-to-1.
And on top of that, I think we were cool with the summer aspect that Division was going with in this one. But we were like, why couldn't they do New York in summer? You know what I mean? Like, but like on top of it, I was like thinking of all the places they could have gone, like LA, Chicago, and I was just thinking like, what made them choose DC? Like, I get it, political game. We could do the White House. We could do. But I was like, I don't know how I feel about it yet. And, like, playing through it, like, they blew me away with with the map. How, like, if you were to ask me, like, oh, where's the Lincoln Monument? I'd be like, oh, it's exactly right here on the map. Like, I feel like I know exactly where everything is. The The White House being your base of operations, I thought was cool.
It's all right.
I didn't think it's a confusing layout,
Yeah.
but I've definitely gotten used to it now.
I like how
It took some time.
shooting range is the presidential bowling alley.
Yeah.
Which is real, right? That's like a real thing.
Oh
in the White
yeah,
House.
yeah. And I think the reason that it's confusing as a layout is because I think they tried to keep it very exact to the White House in the way that we go through everything. So I think it's very similar to that.
I don't have any reference. I've never been.
Me neither, but from reading and looking up, that's what I've
I
heard.
haven't lived there yet.
Yet. Keyword. Bulldog 2020. Ooh, that should be... If we eventually do merch, that has to be our first shirt. Bulldog 2020. So the map, I think, is phenomenal. The gunplay, out of this world.
So much better than the first game.
So satisfying. You were telling me that you've been running snipers, and you've never run snipers in a game before.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just... I
hated them in Destiny. That's like the real frame of reference I have for... Like, I don't like them in Fallout. Anything with the scope.
Yeah.
If there even is anything with the scope in 76, I don't even remember at this point. In Destiny, I hated the way they felt. They felt like Halo guns. And, yeah, they feel really good. And it's like, it's not even that, it's just that it's rewarding to use the sniper, too, because you actually see how much damage. Like, last night I hit 300,000 for a headshot.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That wasn't even with the specialization one.
Okay, that was like a normal marksman rifle?
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
I guess it's because, like, my equipment, I think I had weapon mods on that did critical hit bonuses, but like, oh man, I literally killed the yellow bar in one hit with it. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's very satisfying.
Pop.
Now,
I did see a head pop with like blood.
Really? That's pretty sick.
I was like, what the fuck?
Because I don't think I've seen that, but I've been running I run a lot of machine guns and ARs. Would you say that you've like found like a niche with your loadout as far as like what you want, your primary, your secondary, your specialization? Like, have you found a certain class you find yourself running?
Yeah, my first slot is always, I like it to be some sort of automatic weapon. Right now, I unfortunately have like a light machine gun and an SMG because we're just going on gear score right now, so I'm just having the highest shit.
Yeah.
But I usually like some sort of automatic weapon in the first slot, and then a rifle of some sort in the second slot. And my preferred rifle is the one that you kind of load each bullet one by one.
Yeah.
They do
like a marksman rifle, which is more like a sniper.
Because they do so much more damage, and honestly, like, it takes you out of the scope every time you, like, shoot to, like, pump it. But, the ones that don't do that, and you just stay in the scope and you have, like, 12 to 15 shots, honestly, I get sloppy. Because, like, with the one I prefer, once you're back in the scope, you're, like, evened out again with the crosshair. The other one, the crosshair kind of, like, bumps up and then goes down, and you think, oh, can I time it right so I can just kind of rapid fire it? But you can't. You just kind of... You get sloppy with your work when you use the other rifles.
Yeah. I might experiment with running more of a marksman on my secondary, like, gun. Because right now I tend to run, like, an LMG or an assault rifle in my first slot with, like, a submachine gun or a shotgun in my second slot. Kind of like a traditional shooter, in a way, I guess. I just like having that close range.
Oh, for my offhand slot, I like the sawed-off.
Yeah.
Because then I do get a shotgun.
I just haven't found enough of those.
Because the thing is, like... There are shotguns that you can just find double barrels where it's just 2 shots.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just have it in my offhand.
Yeah.
Granted, for something like PvP, if someone ran up on me, if I had the sawed off or I had the fucking crazy automatic shotgun Tom has, I'd rather the automatic one, obviously. But it's more of a situational item.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting, and I like how they give you the freedom. It's not like a Destiny where it's like, oh, only these types of guns can be a secondary. It's like, no, you can kind of run any loadout you want.
Yeah, then they kind of like tried to change it, and then like for no reason, it's like, oh, this one's an energy weapon, and it can't go in the fucking first slot because it has fire damage for no reason. But
and I feel like one thing I just love about this game is it's very like
it's just fun.
It gives you the freedom to really do whatever you want. They don't really limit you with loadouts. They let you they're like, here's the map. You could do things in any real order you want. You can do side missions for 30 hours, or you could do main story and only that. Or you can just go do the random events around town. Like, I feel like this game is great for not only people that are looking for a live service game, like a Destiny, like an Anthem. I think it's also great for people that just like an open world game. In no way do you have to do the PvP. You don't have to go in the dark zone. You don't have to do conflict. You can just gear up and level up from just staying in the single player map.
And you can honestly play the game very casually too.
Yeah, and I guess I'm trying to say, like, it's more, if you're a fan of like a Destiny or Anthem, you could play this game, or if you're a fan of like a Fallout, a Far Cry, an Assassin's Creed of just an open world game, this is also great for you. Like, it kind of transcends those genres, and it does it very well.
And I like how all the collectibles are on the map. You can see them.
Yes, they don't like really hide that, and
I mean, like,
when you get in range of one, it'll tell you.
Cell phones. I would imagine having to. I mean, I guess the cell phones aren't on the map, right? The Shade Tech is.
Shade Tech is on the map. Cell phones are not, but whenever you get in range, it kind of tells you. Like,
yeah.
Like, you're near one. It's not like you have to walk up to find it.
And it's honestly, as long as you pick up cell phones as you do these other things,
yeah,
you'll probably find almost all of them. But yeah, like, it's nice clearing the board. It's nice just shooting, fucking around.
Yeah, like, there's so many things you could do. And last night, all of our group officially hit endgame. We did the last Stronghold mission together. You could find the video of that on Twitch. We played through that. And, like, now that we're in this endgame, it's like everything's totally changed. Now we have to worry about our gear score. Mm-hmm. We ran the Dark Zone for the first time. I want to bring you guys into PvP tonight. I want to go fight some of those hunters and get some of those masks. I think you saw I put it in the chat.
I didn't look at it. You have to fight hunters to get masks?
Yeah. And it's like, it's
like a collectible enemy that you have to find and kill, and then you take
they're like secret fights. Like, it has to be nighttime, and then there's like an activity you have to do to spawn each hunter. Like, you have to go to a certain area, and it'll be like, you have to shoot this.
What are they, like mercenaries set out to kill the Division agents?
Yeah. we know very limited about the hunters. In Division 1, they were there, and you fought them, but they didn't have much backstory, and we don't know much of them in this game. But they're there. And, like, that's their main thing, is they kill Division agents. Like, they're going to be a tricky fight, but you get a sweet fucking, like, hockey mask when you beat each one. They have, like, their own specific mask.
Oh, it's not just hockey masks?
No, like, it's that style of mask where it's, like, the wraparound and it's, like, a hockey mask, but they have, like, designs on them.
Oh, but it is just hockey masks.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And each one of the hunters, I think there's 12, they all have a different mask.
I was thinking about this last night. You said that the True Sons are JTF?
Ex-JTF, yeah.
Ex-JTF. I feel like the last boss should have been a character that you did missions for in the first Destiny, and not Destiny Division.
Yeah,
that would have been really cool.
Honestly, what I think, like, I remember the end mission in Division 1, and it was honestly very lackluster. It was like one of the it was like one of the baddos, and he was like, it was like some main bad guy, and he was like in a helicopter, and you had to fight his helicopter, and it was bad. And I think in this game, as a live service game, they were like, we don't need this big end villain. It's not a game that starts and ends. It's a game that continues.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be new content, and I'm sure there's going to be new missions and new things to do.
I'm very excited about what raids are going to be. Because not even just thinking about what kind of enemies we're fighting. Like, what kind of levels are they going to give us that are big enough to really hold 8
Apparently,
people?
raids are going to be, like, you know how a stronghold is, like, a longer, more difficult mission?
Yeah.
They're going to be, like, a longer, more difficult stronghold.
But how
for
long?
8 players.
It's got to be. I'm just thinking in terms of the size of the maps for that.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be. The interiors have to be huge. Because, like, you can't be running down these tiny hotel hallways
with 8 people. Yeah.
It's just going to look stupid.
It's going to be interesting for sure.
We need 4 more friends.
Also, now that we've hit endgame and the world tiers come into play based on your gear level, it's interesting because it's like we're at world tier 1, and the way to progress is that we have to beat, like, all the main missions it lays out for us in World Tier 1, and then do all the 3 strongholds, and then it unlocks, there's like a 4th stronghold now. We do that, we progress to World Tier 2, rinse and repeat, while we raise our gear score.
Does it add is it then the 4 strongholds, and then they add a 5th, or is it just the 4?
I think it's just the 4. But, like,
shit game.
For, like, it's so cool, because it's like, in most games, last night would have been it. It's like, oh, we're kind of done, and now if we want to kind of just re-roll our guns and get cool stats, something we could do. But it's like, nah, I'm basically halfway through this game. And they were like, oh, you guys want endgame grind? Here you fucking go.
They set it up so easily to give us so much endgame content. Hey, here's everything you literally did, but here's a harder enemy type.
Mm-hmm. And the last thing I want to touch on is I think they did cosmetics very well. Yes, there are the boxes that you can get a randomized item. However, every level up gives you... After, like, 5 level ups, you should have enough to get a loot box from in-game currency. Yeah, also, there's a shop where you can buy any individual item you want.
Like you need 100 fragments to get an apparel box, and every time you level up, you just get like a equipment box, and most of the boxes have like 15 to 25 apparel, like the currency you need to get that apparel box.
Yeah.
So like every 5 levels, you should be getting one. I've just been buying the cheaper one, and I've been lucking out every time. I've gotten more purples and yellows from the blue one than
Yeah, I opened
blues.
I opened a cheaper one last night, and I got the military jacket.
And that's what my thing is also just like.
I think it's a less chance to get it, but you can still get it.
But here's the thing: you're not gonna get repeats, right? So like.
Yeah, so like.
I'm just gonna get all the clothes.
Exactly.
Because once all the blues are gone, it's only gonna give you purples and yellows.
That's all they can give you.
I guess I wonder if actually no, I don't think sprays come into play with that. I haven't seen a spray, like weapon spray.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's you're not finding as much clothes as in the first division, but I certainly think that it's there. I think it's just less of a spawn because I remember we would just grind like, oh, let's go to the apartment buildings. We'd like find like 5 pieces of clothing.
Yeah, and I like it because now when I get a piece, it feels like a big deal.
Yeah,
It's not just like I'm getting a piece of clothing every 5 minutes.
guy, I found the fancy black dress shoes. Where's that suit?
Oh yeah.
Where's
Well,
that
now I got a
tux?
suit because I got the military jacket. Goes over the vest. Just saying.
Oh, is it like a formal military outfit?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I look fire, dude.
Does it match that hat you have? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I was.
Yeah.
So
and it has like the medals. Like I look like a.
Is it like a navy? Is it like a formal navy suit?
Kind of in a way. It's like that blue with the gold trim. It's so nice.
That's so dope.
But yeah. So Division is kind of an in-review. An in-process review for us. However, we hit Endgame last night, so I felt like we were in a good spot to kind of review the game, give it some thought, talk about it. And if you're interested in seeing us play more Division, it's pretty much our mainstay on Twitch right now. It's the game we're mainly playing and making our way through. Usually joined by the boys, but sometimes you catch me playing solo.
Or sometimes I'm playing Jackbox on Twitch.
Yep, Jackbox. We got a couple games that are probably going to be entering rotation. Probably going to try to get a little Monopoly in there. A little, what was it? Move or Die?
Move or Die.
Move or Die. I'm trying to get that in there.
Probably gonna boot up Dead Rising 4 soon.
Yeah, like we're rotating games out, but Division is like the main online multiplayer game for the boys right now.
It is our bread and butter right now,
as they say, but that always changes. So now that we've talked about what we've been playing, it's time to get into a little bit of news.
I have some Bullduck news.
Bullduck news, hit us with it.
We have a new intro song that we
Yes, we do.
About.
You probably heard it at the top of the show. It is Rigor Mortis Ragtime, I believe is the name.
I think it's just called Rigor Mortis Rag. It is the. It's not the it's just one of the random background music. 'Cause I think it usually is the first one you hear in the game.
Death Road to Canada.
Death Road to Canada, which is it's like Oregon Trail, but then it's the zombie version. But then instead of doing these little text-based mini games, you actually go out and like kind of do like an arcade beat 'em up to get your supplies, and then just like a fun like ragtime kind of rockin' 8-bit sounding song. Which I mean, you already heard it.
It's now that we finally are able to put it as our song, we could say like we've been trying to put some work in to be able to use this song for the podcast.
Yeah, we're trying to get in contact with the right people, and it just took a little longer. But we didn't want to delay the podcast by a month or two to make that happen. So
now we finally got the theme we wanted.
No discredit to the other song.
Oh, no, MDK is awesome. And
yeah.
Actually, he had another song we were trying to get, but we ended up with the one we have.
Yeah.
It was, we didn't have to pay for that one.
And
the other one you have to like pay for a license for.
And then the other one I saw, I was like, oh, what about this one? It's like, yeah, that's like a famous streamer's song. I was
yeah.
like, oh, shit.
So, I mean, we like the song we had now, yeah. And, of course, that song was Buster? X-Buster?
Yeah.
By MDK. So you can go check him out. But the new song, yeah, Rigor Mortis Rag from Death Road to Canada. You can get Death Road to Canada digitally. What's on PS4, Switch, everything?
I don't know about Xbox. I would assume so. It's definitely on PC.
Also, I believe they're going to be doing a limited run physical edition.
Yeah, they have a physical run coming out with such nice album art and a little keychain.
So maybe check that out if you're interested.
Maybe I'll get it just for the keychain.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, I would. That game is rad. We gotta stream more of that game.
We have to beat that game on stream.
Yeah, that's gonna be nuts.
I've gotten to the second day solo.
I've literally made it. Yeah, I've made it to like
2 days
a day away from Canada.
Just
like,
a dog and his little pipe.
Yeah. Well, how come every time I get close again, I'm just a dog?
Because I think the dog is clutch as fuck.
Yeah, the dog rules. Okay, so now we're gonna get into a little bit of news. First bit of news I wanted to hit on was Nintendo had their Nindies event. A bunch of indie games were announced for Switch. Of course, the main event of that was Cuphead. finally coming to Switch. Dude, I can't believe it's happening. I can't believe it's real.
I can believe it's happening. But, it's like, will I get it on Switch, or will I still one day just get it on PC? That's the thing.
The thing for me is I have it on PC, and I played a good bit of it, and I just don't game on my PC enough that I went back to it. But it's another perfect game for me on Switch, where it's like, yeah, I'll put the work in on Switch for that.
That's true. I hate sitting like nice and upright at the computer.
Yeah.
Like,
I could just like lounge and be a complete slob while playing Cuphead on my Switch now.
Dude, it's not even that. It's just like something about like, I mean, like, say for example the Wii, you could like just kind of like slouch your hands, however, or with the Joy-Cons, you could just like be on the TV, but your hands are all willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Something about just snuggling up in whatever position you want with the gamepad, nice and sturdy. Just something about that, because like whenever I play Tetris, it's 9 times out of 10 going to be in handheld mode. I wish that the console somehow had a tracker to let you know the times you've used it in handheld or on TV mode.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I'd love to see people's differences.
Now, with Cuphead coming to Switch, as you can vouch, I have been campaigning to put Cuphead in Smash for about a year now. And now people are starting to get on board with that, and I am hyped because I want that to be a reality. Ever since they've been announcing a Microsoft character coming to Smash, most likely, and you had your Master Chiefs, you had your Minecraft Steves, I have been lone on the Cuphead train as a perfect Smash character, and now I am so hyped because I really want that to be.
So you'd rather him than Master
reality.
Chief and Steve? What about more than Banjo?
No, not more than Banjo, but it's like where Banjo's number 1, Cuphead's number 2.
Here's the thing about Cuphead. I don't think he would be a character just because a 3D version would look awful, and he's not as simple as Game & Watch to where he'd look good in 2D, I feel like.
Why wouldn't he look good in 2D?
Because his art style is so specific, I feel like it just wouldn't look right.
Nah, I think it would look great. And I think that would be the case. There wouldn't be a 3D model of him. It would just be, in those 3D worlds, he would be a 2D character, and when you pan the character like you used to for Game & Watch,
no, I know that,
he's just flat.
But the way he's colored in, you think they would change it to look a little... Because like, you know how Game & Watch is clearly like... He looks a lot better than he did on those little handheld machines, but he's still what he is. Like, you think they would use like a more digital-looking version of Cuphead, or do you think they'd just somehow import the hand-drawns?
I think they would want those hand-drawns. That's Cuphead's style. And I think that lends itself so well to Smash, where Smash is like this combination of so many art styles and so many like different like background walks of life for these characters. I think Cuphead fits perfectly into that.
Anything besides Master Chief for Microsoft, I'm honestly fine with.
Yeah.
He'd be an awful...
The thing for me is, like, with Banjo, yes, it's a Microsoft property, but, like, I don't know. I guess to me, I just never really considered Banjo a Microsoft character just because Banjo was an N64 game. Like, that's where we all know Banjo.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody is fighting to get Banjo into Smash because of nuts and bolts. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like... Microsoft would just have to lend the rights. But as far as an actual Microsoft character representation, I would say Cuphead.
I feel like we'd have a very nuts and bolts looking Banjo.
We probably would. I wouldn't mind that.
I actually really liked that style.
Yeah, I don't mind. I just mean gameplay-wise. Like, that game didn't resonate with people.
That's
not what people remember Banjo for.
Imagine they put Banjo in the game and all of his moves are based on customized vehicles and his Final Smash is like a big customized like tank.
Dude, if that's what I gotta do to get Banjo in the fucking game at this point,
we don't want him to have a nuts and bolts moveset.
I don't want it, but if that was the only possibility, beggars can't be fucking choosers, and I gotta settle.
Nah, I'll never settle for assist trophy, Waluigi. It's never okay.
But yeah, so Cuphead is coming to Switch. I'm very excited.
See, what I was a little concerned about is they didn't mention if the DLC is coming to Switch.
They did. It's coming.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. They said that because there was all this talk of the Xbox integration into Switch. They said that at a later date, your trophies will go to Xbox. So I'm assuming whatever achievements you have done in the game will track. And when the Xbox, whatever this process is going to be, comes to Switch, the Cuphead stuff you've done will be recognized. And they said that the DLC will also come to Switch.
Dope.
Yeah. So that is very cool. And then...
See, I like it because I'll actually play it on Switch.
Yeah.
But do I wait for a limited run game of Cuphead on Switch?
The thing is, like, I think limited run's cool, and I'm glad they do well. I don't like physicals anymore.
Yeah.
It's clutter.
I like it
I
on my
don't want
Switch.
clutter. Like, I feel like I don't like... It's not like the old days where I like having a big shelf full of like old games that I used to like games that I always play. Like I have one there, but like none of those games are like 4 years old at this point. I don't buy new games.
My thing is, Nintendo integrates their console so much and changes up their system so often that like, they never have like backwards compatibility in any way. So you kind of just end up selling your games and rebuying them on the next console anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't mind getting the physicals.
Yeah, see, I was never a cell game guy. Like, even if I don't have the console anymore, I always like just having that copy of the game.
And
Being like, I can always go back and play this.
Here's a kicker. I was thinking about, now I'm talking about the physical games. If you buy a limited run game, does GameStop take that in?
Yeah, like, do they recognize
Is
that?
that like bonus? Is that like you get like bonus money?
Let us know.
It's very rare.
Let us know. Twitter, Bulldog Gaming. Let us know if they do that. If you've ever had a limited run game you've tried selling to GameStop, do they take that?
I'll just get Death Road to Canada and try to sell it back to GameStop. I just want the keychain.
See how that works for you.
$2.
And then the final bit of news we have is Google finally announced their new gaming service.
Google Salvia.
Google Stadia Arcadium. And
Google Cilantro.
like basically at the core, it is a streaming service. It's not a physical console. It's not like a PS4 and Xbox One. It's a controller, and it's It's a streaming service. I don't know if it's going to be free. I don't know how it's going to work. If it's going to be a game system. If it's going to be.
It's got to be a subscription.
It's got to be, or is it going to be like a Steam, where it's like a marketplace?
There's no way. All right, so because one of the big features they showed off was like say you're watching a YouTube video, say I'm watching Game Grumps play something. Oh, that's a cool game. There'll just be a play now button on the screen. But the thing is, a play button that links you to, oh, do you want to buy this game for $60? That's very unattractive. I think it's going to try to coerce you into the subscription service, offer you a free trial, and then in the next 10 seconds, you're playing the game.
That does seem more likely just in the way of like, it lends itself to what they're trying to do where it's instantaneous, where you just, it would be like if they had that with Games Pass, where you're like, oh, I have Game Pass, so like they'll just put this game on. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like something like that.
The first time before you have the service, sure, it'll take more than their claimed 5-10 seconds to get the game going. But then once you're subscribed, done. Also, like anytime you click it, seeing is like, oh, would you like to buy this game? And like kind of being surprised by the price is just not attractive.
Yeah. For those of you who don't understand, who have not seen what Google Stadia is. It is basically that. It's a platform. It's a streaming service. It's like, you can play your game and it's streaming from their servers. And then, like Brian said, if a YouTuber's playing, you could just join their game immediately, right then and there. The question for me is like, do you care?
I don't.
Like, are you going to do this? Are you like, oh man, Google Stadia, I'm in?
Well, here's the thing that I've mentioned to other people. I'm not sure you. I am already invested with like a 300 plus backlog on PS4, and all of my friends are there. I'm not going to get Stadia. If I could play The Division on my phone, I'm not going to get it through Google because I'm going to be playing by myself.
I feel like it's more for PC players.
I think it's them trying to get casuals in.
That too.
The thing is, I think that the biggest limiting factor of this is kind of PlayStation, where they're not up with the cross-play progression. If all the big three were just down for full cross-play and cross-progression, I'd be a lot more hyped on Google Stadia.
Yeah, and I wouldn't count it out yet. I still think it's a possibility we'll see it a lot more in effect on the next console.
Oh, well, I think that PlayStation is going to basically get strong-armed into doing it. It's either you look like shit, like more than just the little Fortnite debacle, you're going to look like straight-up shit if you don't do cross-progression and play. But it seems like a great alternative way for me to play games. It's not going to be my main.
And that to me is like where I fell in this conference was like, this doesn't speak to me. I'm not watching this. Like, fuck yes, this is what I've always wanted, a Google gaming platform on my PC. However, I thought like the thing that resonated with me was like what this means for the industry. This was, okay, we're about to enter a new console cycle. This is kind of the first stone cast in this console cycle we're about to enter. We don't know, like this. I feel like this is the most in a console cycle I've ever seen in my life, where we have no fucking clue what these systems are going to be or do.
Yeah.
And like, because in a way, back in the days, it used to be, well, the graphics are going to be better. You're going to be able to do this and that. Nowadays, it's like, how much better are the graphics going to be?
They can't.
It's more about what is the system going to give me than what is the game going to look like.
Yeah.
We're already so far along in what my games fucking look like.
God of War looks amazing.
And to me, this is the first, like, crack in the wall of, like, that future, that 5G Wi-Fi forever future of a streaming service where it's like, I see this and I don't, like, I think about this current day one product where you're buying it, on the entry level. You're not going to be able to go on vacation and be in like a fucking Best Western and like probably be able to connect and play this well. I don't think it's going to work well. But I think this forces internet companies to consider, like, have to start making moves to that future of this is where gaming is going to go, and you're going to have to provide this service. And there is going to have to be that Fios, that Google Fiber, those services that are strong enough to hold something like this and to make this a reality.
You see, I believe me and you probably have good enough internet, but what if I walk down the block and I'm just outside of my LTE? It's gonna work like shit.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
And not even that. Also, not even that. Like last night when it was windy, and we were getting a little bit of weirdness with our stream because the power lines are going and just it's nasty weather out, and it's affecting our internet. Like, I mean, we're being very down on it. It's very cool.
I wouldn't say I'm being down on it.
I do like the controller a lot. I think the controller's hot.
Yeah, I'm being very realistic because, like I said, it's like, in a way, it's like I feel like this is not ready. This is like, a lot of people have been comparing it to almost like an iPhone. When the iPhone was first announced, it was such a foreign concept of like, what the hell do you mean this is like a phone and there's no buttons on my fucking phone and it's also an iPod and it's this and that and there's games and apps and like the public wasn't really, like at first people were like, this is going to suck. I don't know if this is how good this is going to be. And then it took the world by fire. And I think that could be the case in the sense of like not so much Google Stadia itself, but what it means for the future of gaming, what it means for streaming services and being able to do that stuff. Because in that way, video game media is very old school. Oh, like think about your music, think about your movies, think about your TV. It's all streaming already. Very rarely do you go out and buy DVDs or CDs unless you really, really want that physical media. And gaming's getting there, but it's still so far behind. A lot of people are still buying physical. A lot of people are not ready to be able to download ready games. But it's like, that's where we're heading. It's a digital future.
Well, I just want to jump back to where you said the people aren't ready to download games. I've always hated that argument because you can preload a game like 3 days in advance. Your game isn't taking 3 days to download. I don't care where you are in the country.
No, for us that's fine. But like, if you're in fucking like...
If you're in the sticks in Alabama,
Bumblefuck Kansas, where like maybe you barely have Wi-Fi,
you throw that shit on rest mode.
Not even that. Or think about other countries. There's other countries in the world that don't barely have Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the world itself, I don't think is completely ready for this.
Not at all.
But this is what needs to be done in order to get us to that future.
Well, that's why I think that
that's where I feel like this conference was important.
That's why this feels like a secondary thing. Like, some people might have, say, their PS4 or their Xbox for their friends.
Yeah.
Then if I just want to play a single-player game and I want to be able to play it while I'm at work on break, I can get Google Stadia and play it there.
Yeah. But that's my thing, too, is, like, if I go to, like, my local Starbucks and I want to just, like, hang out on my laptop, have a cup of coffee, and play fucking Skyrim, like, is it going to work? Am I going to be able to do that on that Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Is it going? You know what I mean? Like, that stuff needs to be ready. So for me...
I heard that at the conference, even... Like on the show
floor. It was buffering.
Yeah, I heard that people were buffering and shit.
But in a way I like that because it shows fault. It shows humanism. It's not E3 pre-recorded gameplay that when I get the game, it's not going to look anything like that.
Well, speaking of E3, it makes me more excited because Phil Spencer was underwhelmed by the Google Stadia thing. It's like, oh, didn't really show anything that I wasn't expecting. We're going to bring it big at E3. It's like, okay, let's see what you got.
I'll be honest, dude. I don't think they're announcing new consoles for either person at E3. For PS4, for PlayStation or Xbox.
Well, they were showing off xCloud at E3.
Yeah. I don't think we're seeing anything about their new consoles yet for another year.
They said I think they announced that already. They're showing new hardware.
Might be. I think they're going to show that digital Xbox.
That's true.
Yeah, they're not going to show.
No, but I wasn't talking about that.
I know. I'm just saying, like, yeah. And for me, this is also cool in the sense of, like, now that Google's shown this off and been like, this is what we're doing, now behind the scenes, you have to wonder what Sony and Xbox are saying in their board meetings of, well, this is where we're at with our console, and what do we need to do now to either match the competition or be better than the competition? You know what I mean? Because we don't know where the consoles are right now or what that future holds.
I may be a PlayStation boy, but I just feel like it's impossible for them to not have like all these like analytics and graphs from PS Now at its current form and using that to make it better, and one day they're just gonna be like, hey, we're changing up PS Now, and it's gonna be PS whatever the fuck, and it's just gonna be a better streaming service.
Yeah.
Because like they've been doing it. They've been doing it since the launch of PS4 almost, right?
Yeah.
So like more than anyone, they know how, and it's like.
And I'll be honest, I've heard from a lot of people that PS Now works a lot better now than it did then. It's just that it has the stigma to it now, where nobody tries it.
They have to rename it.
I tried. What game did I really want to play?
You playing Dragon's Lair?
Yeah, and it was, I mean that.
That was not a game you want to stream, because that game is quick time events that give you no prompt, and you have to be very precise about it.
It worked fine. I had a solid time playing that game. Like, it worked fine. You know what I mean? So to me, that told me, like, okay, PS Now is really not as bad as it gets a rap for being when it first started. But, yeah, so it's going to be interesting, and that's one of the things when we started the show I'm most excited for is we're entering this at a very exciting time of, like, these new consoles, this new future for gaming, and not really knowing what it's going to mean. And I think that's a very good place to be for, like, doing a show like this, of, like, taking that adventure, you know what I mean? And seeing where we're headed with that. So it's something we'll keep tabs on, and we'll see where we go. But Google Stadia, not for me, but I'm excited for what it means for gaming.
If it's a cheap subscription service, it might be for me.
Yeah, we'll see.
I got Nintendo and PlayStation already. I don't need to be in another market.
Yeah.
I don't have the money for that.
Yeah.
What do they think I am, rich?
Yeah. What am I, Mr. Google over here? So I think that's going to do it for this episode of Bulldog Gaming. Any last thoughts, comments, concerns, Brian, you want to
Anthem sucks.
address? Yeah, Brian, previously addressed as the biggest Anthem fan on Long Island, has revoked his status. And
Anthem was going to make my console literally catch fire when we were playing
it sounded like a helicopter.
My console
taking
sounded
off.
like this.
I hope they can hear that.
Look at the bar. They hear
They
it.
can definitely hear it. All
It's
right.
basically what my console sounded like.
Now that Brian might have given our listeners ear cancer, because I don't know what that's going to sound like on the recording, that is going to do it for this episode of Bulldog Gaming. Once again, you can find us at Twitter at Bulldog Gaming, twitch.tv/Bulldog Gaming. Subscribe to TDG _Luke. Subscribe to A Filthy Weeb with like 3 E's in it, I think. And go check out Movie Mayhem. Go check out what the boys are doing over there. And who knows when Picked Last Podcast will be back, but we'll be back soon.
They're dead, never coming back. They're in the vault.
Good bits and good stuff. So that does it for us. We will see you next week. Hopefully some more gaming announcements. You know what we should do? Just out of the blue, we should randomly try to predict one bold piece of news we're going to hear in the next week.
Oh, that's so impossible.
Yeah, I know.
Because they've been giving me nothing these past few weeks.
All right, ready? I'm going to go first. We're gonna get an announcement of because there's gonna be a Smash Direct soon. That's my prediction for this week.
This week we're randomly gonna see a screenshot of Dr. Mario World.
I like it.
Nah, that's E3. That's gonna be a time filler at E3.
That's gonna be great. All right, we'll see you next week.
Picked Last is canceled.